Hello. People are already rolling in. Hi. I'm sorry if you hear me eating. I'm eating Popeyes. It just came. As always, we'll get started in like a few minutes. I apologize for eating, and if it's loud, I'll try not to, crunch too loud. Also, I just took like a nap, like an hour-long nap, and I didn't think I was that tired, but I guess I would. So I might be a little bit out of it. It was like one of those days where it's like, I took a walk this morning, and it was like the perfect like temperature of like, it was like in the mid 50s, and it was like a little chilly, but like not too chilly, and I had like shorts on, but I had a sweater on, and then the sun was warm, which was nice, and then I came back and I was like a little sleepy, but then I had class and all that. And then after class, I like laid on my bed and went, ooh. And I took a nap for an hour. So that's my day. And that's my Wednesday. And today has felt like a Thursday. Despite me doing all my regular Wednesday things, like going to class, doing this. But I swear, I think today should be a Thursday. Ooh, creamsicle orange. That's such a fun color though. But that's fun. What color are you gonna change it to? I want to paint my walls in my room at home, but I don't think my parents will let me. My house is like a big room, and it's just like a white wall, and half of it's like plastic. I don't know. Like my room wasn't renovated like the rest of this house, so it just has like this weird plastic, like foamy wall. Oh, that's fun, like a gray faux like brick. That'll be pretty. I do like industrial books. I have to close my door though. My cat keeps just like, she's the smallest cat ever, and then she opens the door like all the way. Oh, I've seen oh god. Now you know that I have an uninstalled Flash player on my computer. I just think discontinuing Flash player was a mistake by Adobe. And so I refuse to look at it or like to acknowledge it. Alrighty, okay. I guess we'll get started. So, welcome back. It's been 2 weeks again. And it's class 10. How crazy. Oh my god. Here she comes. She's back. I'll take a picture of her. Hey. Psst. Hey. What are you doing in here? Why do you keep opening my door? You're just gonna run out anyways. Actually, I would take a picture of her, but the floor... My floor is, a little messy. I need to clean my room. And I don't want you guys to see that. Also, she just keeps, leaving, coming back, and leaving. So yes, class 10. Gasp. I can't believe we're here. That I've made this many classes, and that you guys have attended this many classes. So, regarding the future of this class, I'm trying to, figure out what I want to do with it, because, it's really fun, and I do enjoy it, but of course, I have other things I gotta do in my life. I'm thinking I'm looking at my calendar right now, I think my last class, at least for, a hiatus, will be the 12th of May, I think. Yeah, because that is before the end of my semester here, and then also before I move out of this apartment, and then also graduate. So it's just I'd have a nice hiatus, and then maybe in June I'd start back up. Yeah, I have all the videos on YouTube. So if you look up my name, Jen, with 2 N's and then space wow, or if you just look up writing for animation classes, they should come up. They're fairly easy to find. But yeah, I have all of them up there, unedited. So you get the full experience of everything. But yeah, so we're gonna have at least 2 more classes. It depends on how crazy my schedule gets, because it's gonna be the end of the semester soon. And then I was just gonna end it, I think, but then I started this new class, which I don't know if I'm allowed to share, but I'll just share just this stuff. So I was able to get into a Sundance collab class, which is it focuses on TV writing and core elements, and it's self-paced, which is really nice. And I got a little tiny scholarship for it, because it was originally $200, and then I got it for 70 something, which is still I didn't want to pay that either, but I'm still pretty grateful for it. And so I'm learning stuff from that, and I'm thinking after my little hiatus, I'll go over the stuff that I'm learning from this class as well, because I've already I only did the first 2 little videos, and I'm already learning stuff, which is pretty crazy. I'm excited to see what else I'll learn, and then I can put this on my resume as education and stuff. I've been wanting to learn more about TV writing and more because I'm doing this, but I am not an expert for anyone that's new coming in. I'm learning alongside you, but I do know a little bit about screenwriting, but I wasn't able to take as many classes as I'd like to in college. So yeah. So we'll have a class on the 28th, maybe a class on the 12th, and then we'll come back sometime in June. We'll figure it out. It also depends if I have an internship, if I have whatever I'm doing in the summer. Who knows? I hope I have an internship. So, yeah. So, in this class, we're gonna look at my old work, and at least a few of them, and see some issues with them, and see what could make them better, and just focus on things about it. Hopefully that'll help you guys see any story issues in your own stories, something like that. So we're gonna roast me. which is what I do with my work every day anyways. So some resources. So there's this fun new game, if you haven't seen it. It's in its funding phase, but I thought it was really cute. And it's almost funded. But it's super, super cute. Like, the art direction in it, like, amazing. Like, I love it. You don't see many games like this. I'm not a big, like, I love puzzle games, but I don't like many, like, puzzle games. Like, I'm a Bejeweled, like, that's it. I'm not into, like, rhythm games either. I think it's, like, a mixture of both, but I love, like, how the game looks. You can also customize, like, a bedroom, which I love. Like, you could, like, furnish a room, and I'm like, what? That's what I love. If it had, like, a dating simulator, like, on the side, I'd be like, oh my god, it's got everything. Wow. So definitely, like, check that out. It's, like, almost done. And the music in it sounds pretty cool, too. Oh my god, Peggle? I used to play Peggle on my grandmother's computer in her computer room, like, almost every single day. It was so much fun. That and, like, the little bookworm. Like, she had a CD, and she would just put it in, and then we'd just play it forever. And she was obsessed with it, too. And it was just, like, so much fun. Yeah, those are my favorites. I'm not big into other ones, though. Like, I'm not into Candy Crush. I'm not into, like, those. But this looks really cute. And we need more games like this, obviously. So yeah, so I can't personally back it right now, even though I want to. I just paid for this class, and I don't have a job right now, so please support in my behalf. And then I saw this thread today, like, only, like, hours ago, and, I thought it was really interesting, and it's someone took a creative writing workshop, and decided to write some things about it, and, like, share what they learned, which is awesome. Kind of what I'm doing, but they're doing it in, like, a simple kind of way. And any, like, creative writing advice that you find goes towards script writing and just writing stories in general. Like, I think a lot of people think, like, oh, writing a novel is different from writing a comic book. And it's like, yeah, technically, like, the format's different. You're thinking in a different way, but you're still thinking of story in the same way. Just because you're writing, like, a soap opera versus a, I don't know, Game of Thrones. Those are the same story, just, like, different genre. So you can take, from different spaces of writing. It's what I've always, that's kind of, like, my thing that I love. Like, I changed my major at my old school to creative writing just in order to learn about story more. Because, I love filmmaking and I love, like, all the aspects of it. But my big thing is story. And I wanted to know how to do it better and, understand it more. So they say, know the iceberg, write the tip. You should know your character in and out, their relationships with family, their childhood, their hurt and trauma, their background, etc. You'll only write the relative things. But these experiences will come out through actions, dialogue, etc. Exactly. I think I've said this in one of the classes, like, the earlier ones about, like, character. Like, it's important to, like, know things about your character, but you can't, like, just, sometimes you don't write them down, or, like, you don't say it within the text, and, like, because you don't want, like, and you want it to come out naturally as well. Like, they need to be relevant to the story, to their character building, to the moment, and not just, like, thrown in just to be, like, thrown in. Sometimes, like, we as artists, we're just like, oh, I really, like what I've noticed throughout the years of, like, being a writer, being online, and, like, artists really, having characters, but not having stories, and then they have these characters, and then they have, like, these characters are super complex, but not, like, they have a lot of things to them. They have things that they like and don't like, but they don't have, like, but when you put them in a story, I don't know, like, as a reader, it's hard to know, like, everything about a character. Characters are supposed to be kind of like complex humans, but also it's just easier to have the important things on the top, on the surface, and not know everything. Just because these are little stories, we're not supposed to know every little bit about these characters the same way that we know a friend, a family member, a classmate kind of thing. So, but yeah, but you as a writer should kind of know some of the stuff that make your, like, character tick and feel alive. So then they say grounded descriptions versus abstract. We're not in your head. What sounds beautiful and makes sense to you rarely translates to readers. So give us tangible descriptions so we can feel, like, imagine, feel, taste, smell, etc. What does her heart broke even mean? You can do better. So, like, usually you can, like, I mean, in a script you're gonna write more literally, but I think it's way more fun to just, like, I don't know, play with, oh my god, I'm an English major and I'm like blanking on the word, like, metaphors, or, like, similes, I don't know, one of them. Ground it in something that your audience is gonna know. Like, if you know something that's similar, I mean, a lot of shows do this, or, like, a lot of, like, young adult books do this, where it's, like, they try to make it more, like, pop culture references or something, which can work. It's kind of what comedians do when they, like, be like, oh, and she had this laugh that was, like this, and, like, a hyena, and, like, I don't know, like, something, it's something that you can imagine and be like, oh, yeah. Like, if you just said her laugh was weird, it wouldn't be as funny. Or it wouldn't, you would be like, oh, well, why? How? Then they say, don't fall into cliche phrases. You want it to, you want your writing to stand out. Like, in the first draft, it's going to happen. But, like, you want to, like, sure, like, I feel like sometimes having that kind of, like, cliche phrase can be, like, you can break that rule sometimes, but I don't think it should be as, oh my god, I was thinking, I was about to say Fran Fine, and a hyena. I almost said Fran, because I watched so much. It was 2 weekends ago. Like, we watched all of it. We watched both the ending of Criminal Minds, because we got, Paramount Plus, and so we watched the ending, like, from, like, season 12 to 15. We watched all that, and then we watched a bunch of The Nanny, and it was, and it's so good. I wasn't, allowed to watch it as a kid. I don't know why. I guess it just came on too late, and I don't know if my mom liked it, but, now I'm watching it, I'm like, this is, like, some of the best television, like, ever. And then, like, I had to write a script right after I, like, watched all of that, and so, like, that script that I wrote was so, like, snappy, and just so, like, I couldn't, like, I had too much fun with it, because of, like, when I, like, watch something or read something, like, I, like, take from it, and I, like, draw from the source of, like, their dialogue and, like, the jokes and, like, whatever. So, feel bad, because, like, I don't know if that script was supposed to be funny. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, you don't want to fall into cliche phrases. I mean, even in script writing, you want it to be more, like, original. You want it to stand out. You don't want to just be like, oh, he hit him like a bus. It's like, okay, sure, but, like, what else can you say, How can you make that more unique? Um, Atmospheric writing is your friend. Immerse us in the story. Describe the five senses. It doesn't have to go on and on, but think like, how does the weather feel? How does the character interact with it? Yeah, like, especially, you know, this is for more like novel writing, but like, you definitely want, like, when you're writing your action, you want to kind of feel how the character's feeling. You want to, like, know, like, is it cold in the room? Are they getting, like, goosebumps? Is it stinky? Does it make their nose wrinkle? Like, the atmosphere, like, in one of the scenes I wrote in my last script, that I can't share, but, like, there was, like, I could have done, like, a little bit better with, like, the atmosphere of some of the rooms, but, like, if there's a room, like, the first scene has, like, the character in, like, a place they've never been. It's, like, a cold laboratory, so you want to, like, have that character feel overwhelmed, feel like they're small, kind of thing. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I think I would. Exactly. Okay. Really know your setting, town, city. What are the politics of where people in the community live? Where are things placed? What's its history? Blah blah blah. So, like, world building. Definitely important because, like, I do think sometimes that's, like, I want to world build and I want to create, like, a big kind of, like, crazy world, but, like, that takes so much work. And then I do, like, I make, like, the very small, like, sketch outline of it, and I don't know it enough. But these things play into your characters a lot. Like, especially if you're, like, in a realistic setting. You should know the historical context of, like, what does Detroit mean to these characters? What does Hawaii mean to these characters? You know, like, if they're in those settings, like, what is their relationship to the place? And if you're in a fantasy setting, like your own world, you need to also, like, understand how this character is placed within it, how your characters are placed within it. Like, yeah. I know, you could be like James Cameron and make the whole world of, like, Pandora or whatever and go, like, crazy with world building, which, like, I'm not into that kind of world building in the sense of, like, the world is so cool that your characters get drowned in it. You want the world to kind of fit for what your characters need. And for, like, how, like, if you have magic, if you have cool things in it, how are you going to, like, how does this relate to your characters? How do these things make your character grow? How do they affect them? Yeah. I mean, of course you can just have cool things in it, but, usually you don't want your characters to just be going into a place just because you want to really write this place. You want it to be because they need to be there. Like, I think of, like, Tolkien. Oh god. Oh, I forget, like, I forget the title, Lord of the Rings. Like that, like, I've never really been into, like, when you have, like, 50 paragraphs about, like, oh, this, like, forest is super, like, magical and it could do this and this is the history of it, and then your characters walk through it and that's it. And you're like, wow, that's really cool, but, like, what did that have to do with the characters? How, like, if the history and all that had to do something with the character, like, I don't know. Like, I think of, like, the Dragon Prince kind of does it well, because I do think, like, a lot of the stuff that they set up makes it interesting for, like, the audience, and then also all their characters seem to grow from, like, the politics of it, and then, like, how things are set up, and, like, the magic and all that. Like, I'm trying to think, like, in video games it's a little bit different, because, like, you could have, like, a little book in the corner that someone finds and, like, reads, like, extensive, you know, like, history and all that. But, like, the main story is, like, how is, like, the magic, how is this gonna, like, play into, like, the main storyline? Okay. Take a walk, observe things, people, scan newspapers, listen to music, etc. This I do think is important. You need to be aware of the world. Like, we're artists, we're writers, we, like, shut ourselves off. We keep ourselves in our little circles, and we have our own interests, and we like to keep to it. But I think it's important to understand, like, how people are people, how things work. Like, sure, even if you're creating, like, a fantasy piece, a lot of it can be based on real life. Like, in The Journey for Our Lives, the queen and the king in it of Nethers, like, they're based off of, like, you know, like, real life, like, kings, and, you know, rip, whatever, the king is based off of, Philip, because he's, like, basically, like, asleep the whole time, and then the queen does everything. Yeah. So, like, that makes it more, like, interesting to, like, the audience, and it makes it more relatable. Even if you, like, say your sibling, your mom does, like, I don't know, something, like, funny, or, like, has, like, a certain quality about them that you really like, you can take that for another character, and that could be relatable to someone else, that, like, their mom, their sister, someone could have that kind of same thing. Like, with The Nanny, I think they have, like, really great writing, especially when it comes to, like, Fran's world, and how, like, fleshed out she is as a character, and how relatable she is, and, like, when you go to, like, her parents' house, and it's just, like, it feels real, like, obviously, like, I don't know how the, like, rich people were in the 90s, but, like, you know, kind of, like, Fran's world of, like, and, like, you kind of know a Fran, you know, if, like, mom, like, her mom, like, you know someone like her, and so, like, taking from real life is really important, and could just make it way more interesting. Don't let the seams show. There is so much that happens in the background of a well-written book that we don't see, parts that were edited out because they were too forceful, in-your-face type of writing. Foreshadow is your best friend. Be smooth and subtle. Some things might be really, like, I mean, the thing is, especially if you're writing, like, a pilot, like, the thing is, you know the ending of your story. Like, you as a writer, you know what's going to happen, like, and you know, you want other people to know, and it can be hard to be like, oh, I just want to share this, like, funny, or, like, this really cool, like, it's so, like, interesting, and, like, you're gonna, like, it's gonna blow your mind, but you can't, like, it won't be interesting, or it won't be, like, mind-blowing if you share it on the first episode. And there are some things that are, like, yeah, sometimes you want to, like, allude to it, which is really important, but you don't want to, like, share, like, you don't want to be, like, the plot twist evil person. First episode, be like, hi, you guys, I'm straight up evil, and then everyone's like, whoa, and then that's it. Like, and then you gotta wait, like, 5 more episodes, and then they're actually evil. Yeah. Dialogue should be more than one thing. Yeah, so when you're writing dialogue, you want to make sure that it's, like, that it's telling more than just what it's saying on the surface. You want it to also, you know, like, express how these characters are, and, like, their personality, their relationships with one another, especially in, like, screenwriting, and in, like, a visual format. you don't have the space and time of a novel to show off, like, small little things. Like, like, you can't show off, like, you can't show, like, the inner feelings of a character the same way. So you need to layer on subtext. You need to layer on personality more. Because that's all you kind of get for a character. Like, sure, there's, like, visual cues, but it's what, like, it's to show relationship, to show, like, subtext, to show, like, I don't know, subversive kind of, like, conversations. I don't know. Like, you need to make sure that your dialogue isn't just, hey, or hi, or, like, very plain, just like, wow, that was really cool, or I'm very sad. Like, that's it? Like, come on. Like, do you talk like you're 3? Like, come on. Like, make sure that you're adding more to it. And, of course, in action lines, you can add more to it, and more meat. Like, they were wistful about it, or that they, like, you can show, like, a little bit more about body language, but your words should mean more than just, like, their dialogue should mean more than just a greeting or, like, straight up feelings, you know? So yeah, that was, like, super good. So we have more Mike Rianda stuff. I thought it was really cool. He's been, like, posting stuff, like, all the time. Like, last week he posted, like, so much stuff about Gravity Falls. Which is, like, awesome. Like, you have to follow him to, like, kind of get this stuff. Like, you gotta. So, what I really thought was interesting is how they wrote, I mean, this isn't the full script, but this is, like, an outline for the script. And I don't think I've seen many people post outlines of scripts. And this is so cool. And it makes me want to write more of these. Because the thing is, I don't plan as much as I should. My problem is that I get an idea, and then I like, know the beginning, and I, like, know what's gonna happen, and then I just go into my laptop, and I just write, and then whatever goes off of that, I go off of it. But this is, like, I want to learn how to do this, and I think that class that I, like, joined kind of teaches you how to do it more. But I really, like, you get not only, like, this is the first in a series where I did, when I get there, I don't think this show happened. I don't think this episode happened. So a woman enters a phone at, like, a Walmart type superstore place. Wendy's on the other end with Mabel and Dipper. She yeah, so you get, like, the cold opening, and then you see, like, Act 1, and so we open up on Manly Dan. By his age, it must be the past. He teaches his boys to chop wood, and they're all struggling. He tells her to climb my little axe child. So you get, like, it's just, like, very, like, not written, like, perfectly. But it is, like, you get the voice of what's happening, like, the tone of the story. So it's really, I really do like this. And he has, like, more. He has, like, a bunch of episodes like this. But yeah. And then this one I wanted to go over. So he posted this. And I think everyone has probably seen this. Like, he posted the 10 writing lessons from Gravity Falls. So number 1, you want to respect and love your characters. If you respect your characters, the audience will too. And people are so hungry for legitimate characters with depth. Give it to them. You want to love your characters and, like, give them the time they need. Give them the development that they deserve. and give them those moments of like both like funny but also like tenderness to give that kind of like well-rounded sense. Like we all love Seuss, you know. We all love a character for a different reason. And so should your writers. Like as a writer, you should love your characters the same way. Don't be fragile. Be ready to destroy or remake any part of your story if it's not working. If you identify a problem, any attempt at fixing it will eventually help. I know that it's hard, like, with a lot of, like, stories I've written, like, scripts, it's hard because you think, like, you're, like, a genius the first time you write it, or, like, you think of it, and, like, I've had stories that I've had for, like, 10 years. I've had stories, that I've, like, had for, like, one, and I still, like, love it a lot. And, like, you think every part of it is, like, perfect because, like, it's something, like, you've developed for a long time, or it's just, like, your little baby child that you just want to, like, protect and, like, be like, this is perfect. But if you want to make, like, your story the best it can be, sometimes the parts that you have in it, if someone says it's not working, sometimes you have to take away some parts. Like, I was writing, like, I tried writing a novel. That didn't work out. And I had a character in it. She was, like, a dwarf. She was, like, super cool. She was, like, a mom of, like, 12 kids, and she used to be, like, a warrior woman in her, like, when she was, like, younger. But now she owns a tavern. And she's, like, super cool. And I wanted to put her on that journey with, like, the main cast and, like, take her and, like, have her, like, be shown and, like, how, I don't know, I wanted to showcase her, too. But then I realized she wasn't fitting in. Like, she wasn't helping develop these main characters. She didn't have a purpose besides being super cool. Well, like, beyond, like, one point, like, she was helpful. And then, near the end, she, like, was just, like, she just decides to leave because she, like, wants to go help her, like, another group of, like, dwarves or something. I don't know. And I was just like, well, that's just, like, she just leaves. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just shouldn't include her. And so, like, you gotta make those difficult decisions. And I do think it's hard for a lot of people to do. You know, I do think trying all options, like just tossing things on the wall and seeing if it sticks, is important. And if someone is telling you something in your script is not working, you need to, like, maybe it's time to, like, sit down and hunker down and be like, maybe I need to fix it. But sometimes people are wrong. But sometimes people are right. If a majority of people are sitting there and I'm like, I feel like this part is lacking, or, like, I feel like we could work on the dialogue, or, you know, these are some points that we need to hit, especially if you're in a team kind of setting, making sure that everyone has, like, a say in how it's, like, working. We're solitary people, as, like, you know, as creative people, our minds kind of, like, work as, like an asteroid. I don't know. And then, like, you guys are all talking about, like, planets and stuff, so I'm like, but as a team, we're like a solar system. And we all work together, you know. Even if we have our own ideas. So yeah. The opposite, God, that was a tired. The observation, invention, cliche, pyramid. The best stuff comes from observing real life or inventing something people have never seen before. Anytime you accidentally write something cliche, replace it with those two things. That's actually a pretty cool, like, tip. Like, I'm trying to think of something. Like, if you have an evil stepmom trope character, like, in your story, what if instead, so you take something that's either relatable or take something that is new. So either you can replace it with, like, maybe it's not, like, an evil stepmom, but it's, like, It's not like evil as in like the sense of like I'm gonna kill you, but like maybe it's like just maybe she's like more nervous, and so she doesn't know how to help. Like like a misunderstood, like they're trying to help and like wanting to reach out but they can't. Or something like a new invention, they're a robot stepmom. I don't know. Have we seen that before? I guess maybe with Smart Home, like the Disney movie, but like or like maybe it's like a dinosaur stepmom. That would be, the implications of that would be weird. Okay, let's keep going. Your character's goals must have value and be relatable for your audience to care about them. If your character loves and cares about something, the audience will too. Relatable doesn't mean universal, but if it speaks to a truth many people experience, they will respond to it. Think of like Dipper and like, and even me, like Dipper's a totally relatable character, and a lot of what he strives for in like his goals, and like either it's his crush on Wendy, or like him trying to like feel like he's more mature, or with Mabel, like her wanting to have fun, her like little boy crushes, like her love of pigs. That's fun and that's relatable. Like I love pigs, and we all want to feel like at that age of like what, they're like 12 or something. So like at that age, you're at that point of either you're too, like you feel like you're immature or you're mature. Those are things you can relate it to. And that like sibling relationship, super relatable. If, you know, unless you're a single child, then I don't know. And also, yeah, like their goals need to make like sense. You want to feel like they have real stakes to them, and that if something that they care about, like that they feel important. Like Mabel in that episode where she really wants Waddles. That's the one that I always remember. Like, you really want her to get Waddles. Like, that's really important. And, like, and you understand, like, Dipper going back and doing that, like, for her and whatever. And then, say something. We got a megaphone. The best episodes came from when we said something meaningful into that megaphone. I think it's important to have lessons. I think it's important to have morals. I do think that should be like one of your main, like you should be saying something important with the work that you're doing. And it might not be like something super like super duper like groundbreaking like stuff. It doesn't have to be super wise, but I do think any message is better than nothing. I don't like media that is just like has no feelings, no values, no messages behind them. Like there needs to, like, I mean, sometimes like I hate when it's too blatant. Like it's a hard balancing act, but what's important is like knowing that you have like, why are you telling the story? And like, why is this episode important? Instead of just, you know, just rating something, you know. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves, it happens in comic books a lot. I feel like not that every episode, every issue needs to be some sort of special episode. Like, it's some Glee episode, like, about bullying or about, you know, like, you know, don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, you don't have to, like, not every episode needs to be like that. But if the overarching premise, if the characters represent something, I think it makes it way more interesting. And I was gonna say, like, the example, like, I think of, because Batman Beyond, like, the TV show, super good, great stuff, and, like, it feels like it has a purpose. I'm not sure, like, exact themes that they, like, touched on, maybe, like, growing up, responsibility, I don't know, technology, but, like, in the comic book series, which, like, the earlier, like, issues and, like, runs of it, super good, you should read them, but recently, I've not been a fan of it, because, sometimes I feel like they're just sticking stuff to the wall that are, like, that seem, like, super crazy, and, like, super, like, weird, and, like, because it's, like, Batman Beyond, and in the future, like, they had some, like, robot android Joker, like, it's the Joker from the past, and he's, like, a robot, and I'm like, but he, like, but it was, like, weird, it wasn't, like, normal, I don't know, like, not saying that everything has to be normal, but it's just, like, there was no reason behind that. What was the reason? Why do it, like, at one point they changed Harry and gave the Batman Beyond series to, like, one of the other Robins, like, or older Robins, like, Tim Drake, and I'm like, why do that? What makes a difference? Like, what, besides that it's cool that you want to do it? And I'm like, sometimes that's, like, your thought, like, that's your thought process, like, oh, that's cool, I want to do it, but at least have, like, a purpose, I don't know, anyways, let's keep going. You need to blow smoke up your friends' asses. I think this series was powered by blowing smoke up each other's asses, even when we did deserve it. We told each other we were great, so we actually believed it. Totally important if you're on a team, you're working on a project, that you tell people that they're doing a good job. Because it gets pretty demoralizing if every single time you bring a note that they're like, this isn't what I want to do. You can at least, like, pat it a little, like, you know, like, put it in a nice bow, be like, wow, this is, like, great stuff you're working on, but maybe we could change this, or maybe you could work on this a little bit better, or let's focus on this, you know, like, you're working on a team, you need to act like you are, you know, and, like, you want to be nice to people, just be nice to people. Put in, oh wait, no, I missed one. Exactly, criticism sandwiches, just, like, put in, like, wow, this is, like, really good, but maybe we need to do this, but what you did was really good. Because some of the projects I've worked on, like, sometimes people aren't nice, and I'm like, or, like, at least they don't come off as being nice, you know, and it's just like, I wrote this for you, I'm trying to help you, and, like, and I'll try to, like, be as, like, oh, well, we don't have to use this, we don't have to, you know, but if someone works hard for you, then you need to, you know, work hard for them back and, like, be nice, you know, especially when they're working for free. And this is non-specific grudges. Alright. People love a mystery more than you would believe. It's true. I do love a good mystery. I love, like, especially when you're with, like, a group of people and you're watching something, like, I love, like, me and my friends watching Criminal Minds, and then someone goes, it's gonna be him. He did it. He inserted himself too much into the investigation. And then I turn out to be right. It's so fun. Writing mysteries are hard. Mainly, like, you know, complex ones. Like, I've tried writing one. We might look at it. It's a little bit long, but we might look at that script, and it's just like, you don't want to be dumb, and like you don't want to dumb it down for your audience, even if they're kids. Like, kids want to know, like, they love mysteries too. They love spooky things. They love, like, stuff that makes them think. Just as much as, like, us adults. Like, I'm trying to think of other, like, what are, like, the best mysteries? I love, Knives Out. I've talked about. That was good. I don't read many mysteries. I didn't read Nancy Drew growing up. I mean, you can add mysteries in, like, non-mystery genre stuff. Like, that's good too. Put in the details and people will love you for it. Reward people for their attention. Yeah, like, you want to, like, the more love and detail and, like, little, like, stuff you add in, the more your audience is going to be more invested. Like, Gravity Falls did it all the time. With, like, little things in the background. Like, maybe we'll see one of those, like, little gnomes from, like, the earlier, an earlier episode and, like, a newer episode in the background. I'm like, oh my god, it's him. It's that little gnome. Or even they're more, like, cryptic-y, like, mystery stuff, like, with the little, like, Bill Cipher, like, little, or, like, the little circle things at the end of episodes, or, like, they have, like, the little, they had, like, audio, like, flip backwards, and then people would flip them. Like, that's just fun. Fight for the right team. The most important part of a creative project is picking an incredible team that's all on the same page taste-wise. If you're fighting for the same thing, you will be an unstoppable force. Teams are important. Like, you want to be on the same page with your team. I haven't been on many teams. But, like, I love, like, when I did a mall fight, we had, like, a few different people that, like, I want people to work with us, and then, I'd get a few people, and I was like, I don't know, like, I'd look at their work, and I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know, and then, like, with the people that, joined us, because it was me and Kieran, we were like, okay, well, obviously we're gonna be a team, because, like, I mean, of course, so, we just had to find more people to work on it, because we're not animators. And we just wanted more hands on it. Like, I really love working on a team, even though I have, like, I get so nervous with it. But I love, like, someone else just throwing an idea, and then being like, oh my god, that's a good, wow. Like, I didn't see it that way. And then, like, you throwing out an idea, and then people also being like, oh my god. Like, and the people that we, like, had on the team, Coffee and Chica, yeah, they were amazing, and they were, like, super on page with us. We had, like, slightly different art styles, which are, like, fine, but, like, we all were on the same page of, like, of how we wanted these characters to be, what we wanted this story to be like. I mean, it was a 2-minute film, but, like, I wrote the script, and I was hoping for more, like, changes of feedback, but once we got to the storyboarding phase, people really put, like, a new twist on the script, and like, really came up with, like, some fun things. Like, you want to give the freedom for your team to, like, thrive, but then also, like, that same goal to, like, work towards, you know? And you have to fight for quality. Through no fault of anyone, things tend towards being bad at worst and mediocre at best. You have to fight tooth and nail for every moment to be as great as you can. This can be from, like, of course everyone's going, ugh, like, shaking fists at, like, the big studio head, like, executive, like, ugh, Disney. But, like, I mean, this also is for the people on your team. Like, you don't want them to strive for, like, the least amount of effort, you know? Like, you want to be like, maybe we could do better. Maybe this can be better, and you want to fight towards that. You don't want to just think of your, like, I don't know. Like, your worst enemy is yourself, kind of thing. Like, sure, like, big studio heads can be restricting, can fight back on you and stuff. But also, you need to expect the best from yourself as well. You know your limits, of course. Like, when we made that short film, we didn't, like, shoot for the stars for having, like, 6 characters in it. For, like, a film that was made in, like, a few weeks. And also, when only one of us had, like, animation, like, experience. But we did our best. And we strove to do our best. And we understand our limits. Like, we knew we weren't going to color the characters all the way. We knew it wasn't going to be perfect. But we, you know, like, I really wanted this to look as good as it possibly can with the parameters we had. You know. Super important stuff. Follow Mike. He's got important stuff. He's basically taught half of his class through me stealing his, like, information from the stuff, like, from his classes and stuff. But yeah, okay, on to the next thing. So, we're roasting my own work. And the key things we're gonna look at is the premise okay? Can I, like, make an interesting logline out of it? Is the structure, like, does it make sense? Like, character, do their motivations, or do the motivations even make sense, have any weight? Like, their personality, do we even like this character? And then if there's, like, really lame dialogue, or action, like, so, we might not get a lot into the structure, only because, like, you know, it's kind of hard to get into. You can see, like, all my messy files. I'm thinking I was gonna do vlog, but there's some controversial stuff in it. As in, like, it talks about gun violence a little bit. It goes, like, there's a gun in it. And I just think it's not the best time right now to go off of it. So I'm thinking next stop, because it's, I don't know, it's 17 pages, 12 pages. And it's not that long. And it's pretty straightforward. And it's the script. So I wrote it in 2017. And it was my first semester at Columbia. And I wrote it for Young Arts. And so, like, this was a script that got me into Young Arts. And I also, what else did I do with it? I sent it into, it was a golden script, it's like the golden script competition. I was, like, a finalist with it. So that's fun. And, it's, okay, like, it's one of those films that, like, so, when you get into film school, there's, like, a type of film, that you feel like you need to make. Like, you feel like you need to make the artsy, like, super, like, groundbreaking, almost, like, the Oscar-y feel of, like, a movie. It'd be, like, yellow tinted, or, like, I don't know, like, maybe you put in grayscale, because you're just so, like, high-minded. And so that's what I wrote. Like, when I got into script writing, I wasn't sure exactly what genre I wanted to do. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to write for. I was just like, I want to write scripts. And now I know, like, I really want to write for animation. And maybe one day I get into live action and, like, whatever. but I really want to write for TV too. Like, especially. Maybe one day I'll get into films, but I like the idea of, like, collaborative, like, TV writing rooms and, like, all that. More than, like, writing, like, 200 pages. Or, like, 60, I don't know, like, 100 pages of film TV script, or, like, film script all by myself. Maybe one day. But yeah, this is my first script. I won't, like, read through it, but I'll give you, like, a gist of it. Oh, I don't like how this looks. I got bad eyesight. We'll do it like this. So, the main gist of it, so, Lawrence is an old man, and he goes on the subway, like, the L train, and, like, this is Chicago, because I was living in Chicago at the time. So he goes on the train for the first time in, like, a very, very long time. And he relives, so he sees people on the train that remind him of his past. So he, like, relives his life. How do I, oh, yes. So, like, here, like, he sees a mother that reminds him of his mother. So he kind of hallucinates that this is his mother. Not that he's, like, actually speaking to her, but it's, like, he's, like, thinking it. And he goes through, like, different parts of his life, like, different stages, like, and then there's just, like, a homeless man, and that's also there, in the background, and then, I don't know, but yeah, it goes through his life, and he's just on this train all day, and at the end, he, at the end, the homeless man, comes up to him, and it's like, why did you take this train today? And he goes, who are you? I know why you did. It was to face your fears, but you're too scared, aren't you? Who are you? I mean, I haven't been on the subway for 20 years. Who are you? Too many weird. Who are you? And the homeless man was him the whole time, and the homeless man kills him. Bam, that's the twist. I don't think it's a terrible script. I do think it's not something I'd write anymore. It was fun to write. And I don't think, like, I just was like, oh, I just want to, like, be, like, super artsy and, like, blow people's minds. I think it would be, like, a pretty fun script to actually, like, film. It was supposed to be live action. I think, like, an animated version of it would be cool. But, like, some of the dialogue kind of sucks. And also, like, some of the descriptions are, like, weird. Like, this is not important. I mean, maybe you'd put it's a normal day out. And you'd put, like, you wouldn't put mild temperature out. Maybe, but I don't know. Like, I feel like that's just a waste of space. Especially since this is supposed to be a short film. Like, you don't really need a lot of, like, you just be like, it's a normal busy day out. And I probably should have put, like, Chicago or something. I just wanted to make it general for any kind of subway system. But this is, like, a subway system that goes, like, up and down and, like, in the tunnel and then, like, up and, like, elevated. Which is, like, most, you know, like, the metro, like, whatever. Like, yeah. Structure-wise, I can't really think of structure. I think Lawrence is an okay character. I think it's very cliche. It goes through, like, certain points, of, like, so, like, I don't know, he has an older brother and a younger brother, and he is, like, shy, I guess. He's, like, more mild. Sky trains. We called it the Owl, and that was it. I don't know where other places call it. Like, in Chicago, it's just the L. Like, that's just a train. It's just gonna go on the L. And I'm like, okay. I don't really call it, like, the subway. Like, you'd call the subway in, like, New York. Because most of it in Chicago is above ground. Except if you go on the red train line, which is the one that I only know. Besides, like, I've been on other ones. I mean, like, the blue line. But, so he was like, you know, like, getting into character. So, like, Lawrence is, like, a little shy. He's, like, seen as a wuss. He's not, I don't know, he's, like, awkward a little bit. And he has, like, he does have strong relationships with many people. He doesn't know what he's gonna do with his life. He wants to play the piano. But his dad doesn't want him to. He's not, like, the person that his family wants him to be, kind of. And then, like, he doesn't have a good relationship with, like, women or, like, romance. And then he joins the military. It's, like, supposed to be Vietnam, I think. He has, like, you know, like, his friend gets really sick after the war. Or, like, you know, gets into drugs, whatever. And then he meets a man. This is actually the scene that I used, if you want to do digging on me. You can find me reading my script to a small little theater in New York, with, like, awesome, like, people behind me, like, if you look up my name, and then, like, Young Arts, because this was the scene that I did, to, like, perform it, because we all had to perform, like, we had to read out our, like, writing, and then we, collaborated with, the music people that were, I think they were the classical musicians, that were also part of Young Arts. And so, 2 people from the writing group read out The Man and Lawrence. Originally I was supposed to be Lawrence, and I said, I don't want to be my character, I'm the writer. And, like, I remember, like, one of the mentors were like, but, like, don't you feel, like, connected to him? I'm like, yeah, I do, but, like, I'm the writer. I want to be the omniscient voice. And he was gonna be, and I was like, I mean, like, I was able to get him to do this. Let me read this. But so, the well-dressed man is supposed to be, like, his lover. And Lawrence is into poetry, like, wrote poetry within, the war, and then he, like, goes to poetry nights. He writes books, and then he finds someone special. Yeah, and he's, like, a journalist. Well, yeah. And, like, that was a cute part. I think, like, and, like, the part that I, like, read came to, like, and they held hands for a very long time. The end. Or something like that. But then, like, the man dies, technically. But the man leaves on the train. His, boyfriend, husband, dies. And he describes. And then he's alone. And then the homeless man. So, like, his breaking point, the reason why he's on the train, is because he's lonely. He's alone. And that's the script. I don't think it's, like, terrible. You know, at the time it was better than, not that I'm, like, doing my own horn or anything, but it was better than most, scripts that, especially since this was before I took any screenwriting classes. I wrote this while I was in my intro to film class. And so I had like my teacher who was a script writer look over it, read over it. That was fun. But yeah. Like, there are some things that I wish I could change about it. I don't think it's something I'd write anymore. Because I'm not that, I don't know. Sometimes I like writing deep stuff, but now I write frogs. I don't know. So, what other things am I rating it on? So, premise. Premise, not bad. I think it's interesting. If I could write a log line for it, let me make another thing. So, if we wrote a log line, it would probably be like, in a quiet old man takes a long trip on the subway, but also through his own past in order to face his fears. I don't know, something like that. It would be something like that. That's kind of dumb. So, like, I mean, is it viable? Yes. As a story? Yeah. Is there some lame dialogue? Is it, like, a little cliche? Yes. I do think a lot of the points are, like, super duper, you know, like, you're hitting certain beats. Like, this could definitely just be turned into some, like, old man novel. I don't know, like, a book award or something. Like, this part where his dad is like, you should play football. And he goes, but I want to play the piano. That's car cliche. I'm not really sure the structure of this. I mean, technically it's supposed to be artsy fartsy, so does it need to have a structure? But, I'd say I don't know where the climax would be. I would say end of I feel like this right here would be like end of act 2. I mean, there's no acts, but like this would be like, you know, when you're going into act 2 kind of thing. Because it's like a changing point in his life. He's going to the army. And he comes back and then he like, so like his friend's sick. And then this would be like kind of the climax, I guess. Like, especially this part. Or maybe when he like dies. And then it would go into like, I mean, of course this would be the more the climaxy part. I don't know. I'm not a structure genius. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid. I mean, for, like, one of my first scripts. Let's look at, Lovecraft has more of a different kind of, like a more standard, like, story. It's supposed to be a mystery. I technically wrote the story in, when was it? Like, junior year of high school. And, as just, like, a short story. And then I had to do a final project for my intro to film class. And he said we could do anything. I could even write a script, and so I wrote a script. Now it's supposed to be this long. How long is this? Like 26 pages. It was supposed to be like 15 max or something. So like, And this is, so like the main story is about Kevin, who is an investigative journalist who works for the Baltimore Sun. And he is told that he needs to go to, I don't know, write a story about a senator, find something out. There's something happening. I don't know. But he doesn't like to take, like, he has to go up to, like, Boston or something. And, he's like, I don't like planes, so I'm gonna drive there. And so he drives there, but he, like, stops at a very, very small town, and stays in one of their motels. And then when he wakes up, he is, like, everyone in town thinks he killed someone, because it's a very small town. Many people don't stay there. And so they think that the outsider was the killer. But he was asleep the whole time. So he's like, oh, well, I will figure out who actually killed her, or whatever. And then there's Jeremiah, who's like, who helps him. He's like his, like, Watson, I guess. And so they go around to every single, like, household and, like, person and solve a crime. Or, like, they try to figure out if they've done it. And it's a very small town, so it's, like, 6 people that he goes to at most. And then the plot twist, which, like, it was, like, the first mystery I've ever written, especially in, like, high school. And so they find, like, pieces of her body parts, like, chopped off. I have to, like, read it. I haven't read it in a long time. But they find, like, pieces of, like, this girl, and, like, her, like, body parts, like, and I think the dialogue is, like, awful in this. Like, first of all, there's, like, so many. You pie are always my favorite. Your pies, like, you know. It's supposed to be, like, very, like, campy, or, like, you know, kind of thing. But it's, like, you know, it's supposed to be, like, very, like, subtle, but then obviously it's, like, I didn't make it subtle enough. Like, this child just says, Mama, I want to play with the foot. And then, you know, it turns out that everyone in town killed her, because she wanted to leave. She wanted to get out of there. And, they don't want that to happen. Especially she's, like, the most beautiful person. Yeah, so it's supposed to feel like a very, like, old-timey, like, town. Like a 1940s-ish kind of town. But it's, like, set in modern day. But everyone's very, like, stuck in their ways kind of thing. Oh, yeah, and then, like, Mrs. Newman was, like, guilty about it. And then she just says, everyone did it. And then he, like, spirals, like, out of control. He's like, what? And then she just spills everything. And then, like, it ends. And he, like, runs away. like his car. I think his car goes missing. I don't even know. And then like a bus stops, and then he goes on the bus, and then he leaves, and then police cars come, and then he's like, they couldn't find anyone in town. It was like everyone had disappeared. You know, cliche. It definitely needs some working. And like could be a little more mysterious. And like it definitely didn't have enough twists to it, you know? Like the big twist is that everyone killed her, which is like, I don't know, kind of boring. Or like, I don't know, trying to be like, oh, mind blown. But apparently, yeah, everyone. I think in the original one, Jeremiah and Mrs. Newman survived. Or like, stayed there, but yeah. Exactly. The small town never existed anyways. Which is like, none of this really makes sense. Like, I don't know. Like, the whole story doesn't really make sense. There's no real structure to it. Some of the characters I do. Like, I don't know, Jeremiah was fun. He was like a little puppy dog. He didn't, and he was kind of like made fun of by the rest of the town, but it's like kind of cliche. I do. Oh wait, let me eat my chicken first. I do keep recycling this idea because in my pitch Bible that I wrote for the journey for our lives, I did read, like I put in that they come across a small town and they get framed for murder. It is super fun. But I'd write it way different than this, obviously. But yeah, the character has like, first of all, here's some plot holes. Kevin, why would this town trust Kevin with solving the murder if they think he's the murderer? Also, I don't know, like, one of my least favorite lines here, my least favorite line is when he's in his room. Oh, I'm missing it. And he just, like, reads a Bible verse. And it's just so dumb. Like, nothing is covered that won't be revealed or hidden that will not be known. And then it's like, I'm an atheist. So dumb. Like, it's like supposed to be like foreshadowing, but it's like so lame. Like, what? And it's such like a. This has definitely been a quote for, like Criminal Minds, like either the beginning or end quote. Oh my God. And then there's a painting as well. That's like, this painting is of a lake deep in a forest. A little girl is surrounded by ducks. She feeds them breadcrumbs. And then the painting changes when he wakes up. The little girl has disappeared and the ducks have changed formation. But stay straight ahead as if they stare directly at Kevin. That's kind of cool. But also, like, I think it could be done a little bit better. I do feel like I'm just layering on, like, trying to find ways of foreshadow. And it's just not working. the dialogue isn't, like, terrible. Like, I mean, for the tone I was trying to go for, it's not awful. Some of it kind of sucks. But even the sucky stuff, like, even, especially beginning stuff, like, I mean, I can see a lot of, like, what I'm writing now in this, especially with some of the dialogue. And, like, continually with your stuff, even if they suck, even if you, like, absolutely hate them, they're gonna be building blocks for whatever you're gonna create in the future. Like, I will never publish this. I used it as a class assignment, but I'm still proud of it. I think I submitted this to the same contest or competition as, Next Stop. I think I got, like, a semi-finalist on it, which, like, you know, not bad. I don't think do I have any other scripts? I don't put all my scripts in here. It's like, I need to organize my files better. Because I don't have many on here. I don't think I wrote any scripts in 2019. Surprisingly, no. Like, I had a whole year where I didn't write anything. Yeah, I think those were basically all my scripts that I wanted to go over. My newer ones, like, I do need to work on them a little bit more. One of the things that, like, I really want to get good at is structure. I want to, you know, build tension in a better way than just, like, going off my own gut. But yeah, I wanted to show you some of my awful work from when I was, like, 18, 19. I was, 18? Yeah. I was 18 when I wrote this. So, you know, it's totally different from, like, what I'm writing now. I took, like, a whole year. Like, I totally didn't realize. 2019, I wrote no scripts. I was writing, like, I don't think I really wrote, what did I even write? I don't even think I wrote more poetry in 2019 than anything. But, like, now I've written more. I think I've written more scripts. I mean, I've written at least 2, 3, 4 scripts in the past few months. And, you know, I feel like I'm definitely more passionate about my work than I was back then. I mean, everything I'm writing is personal work, which I think, like, usually I write stuff that, like, like, I finish stuff when it's an assignment, and I've been working on stuff that's, like, my own thing that is an assignment. So, and I've been able to finish them, which is great. Like, thank God. I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna get a job. I'm never gonna get a job because I can't finish anything on time. Or I never feel like finishing anything. But now I prove myself that I can. So I guess that's where I'll end class. The moral of the story, or moral of the class, is sometimes the stuff that you write is gonna suck, but just know that later, you know, it's still worth it. Like, writing the bad stuff is always gonna get you to the better stuff in the future. Even, like, you know, like, with drawing, like, sometimes you just, like, draw something crappy and you're like, no, I'm never drawing again. But, like, I remember exactly, like, one moment, I was, like, in 7th grade. This is with, like, art. But, like, I remember I was in 7th grade and I was, like, drawing in class, and I was, like, wanting to draw a character running, and I went, I can't do it now, but I know I can do it later. and I can't wait until I can. And so every time I like draw, now I'm like, man, I couldn't do this before, and like I know that, like, and I'm proud of myself that now I can do it, you know, like, because in the past I couldn't. So that, you know, hold that same mantra with like writing as well, because you might write something and you'll be like, oh, I can't, I feel like I'm not writing the scene right, I'm not funny enough, or the dialogue sucks. But then know that in your next thing, or in the next draft, that could be pretty good, you know? So yeah, that's class. We'll be back on the 28th, unless school gets the best of me. That week I do have like, what do I have due? I have like 3 projects due. That's fun. But I probably won't cancel class. I don't know what the topic will be next class. I'll have to see. But I had a lot of fun. Thank you for joining. I'll post this on YouTube later. Thank you. Thank you for your awesome comments. Yeah, I was thinking of do it like maybe just like a shorter class next time. And then for my last class, before like my like hiatus-y kind of thing, I was gonna do like a big kind of review of everything we talked about, or like a little bit of everything. I was gonna do that today because it was like the 10th class, and I said, nah, I'll do it. What? My last class was gonna be like the 12th or something. So yeah. Alrighty, thank you. I'll see you in 2 weeks.